Hi, cricket aficionados. Hope you're having a great weekend and enjoying the India versus England ODI today. But this episode is about the upcoming Champions Trophy, which starts in about 10 days' time. Let's look at what Champions Trophy is all about, past winners, the current squads and predictions, how conditions will play a major role, and let's see who ends up winning it. So let's start. So, what is the Champions Trophy? Now, the Champions Trophy is the second most important ODI tournament after the Cricket World Cup. Now, the best thing about the Champions Trophy is that there are only 8 teams, and these are the top 8 ranked teams as per the ICC rankings. So, if you see this list, there is no West Indies because they've missed out this time, and there is no Sri Lanka, which is a big, big surprise given that they were an ODI powerhouse. Some time ago. I mean, in fact, they did end up winning the 2002 Champions Trophy along with India, which they shared because of a washout in the final. So, coming back, I mean, Champions Trophy is a marquee tournament which had been discontinued post 2017 because of because of the cricket calendar being too cramped. But it was necessitated to revive the ODI game because of the advent of T20. ODIs uh, have lost their sheen, and hence the Champions Trophy has been reintroduced. And it is being hosted by Pakistan this time, who won the 2017 Champions Trophy. Now, the beauty about this tournament is that it is a quick tournament wherein you have to, it's almost every match is a must win game, and hence it adds to the spice. It also tests the ability of teams under pressure, and that's why it's a beautiful tournament to watch. It is a short tournament, about 20 days, and I'm hoping that it gives a much needed boost of fillip to the ODI game. Pakistan are obviously the defending champions, having won the tournament in 2017, having defeated India in the final. Here's a quick look at the list of winners of the previous editions. I'll discuss this in detail a little later in the piece. Here's a look at the two groups. Group A, of course, has the India versus Pakistan clash, and it also has Bangladesh and New Zealand. Very interesting. Group B is extremely interesting as well, with England, Australia, and South Africa competing against a very talented Afghanistan team. So you can't write them off. Now, here's a quick one. You may subscribe to this book on Amazon. This is Indian Cricket Why Good Will Never Be Great. It celebrates Indian cricket like no other, covering some great episodes as well as offering some constructive criticism, which I feel is lacking in Indian cricket. Also, I would request you to subscribe to this channel, like my content, and share it with your friends if you genuinely like them. And you may also comment. I would love to hear your comments and feedback. Let me now get back to the discussion on the Champions Trophy itself. Like I said earlier, these are the previous winners of the trophy. Very interesting tournament. In 1998, India were beaten by West Indies in the final, in the semi-final, and South Africa ended up winning it. This is South Africa's only big tournament win to date, and obviously they had a fantastic team at that time. Uh, in 2000 as well, India reached the final, and it looked for a long time that they would be able to defend the target. But Chris Keynes and Chris Harris had other ideas, and they went on to secure a famous win for the Kiwis. Kiwis, of course, also haven't won a major one-day tournament or a T20 tournament apart from this. In 2002, 2003, Sri Lanka and India were in the final. In fact, it was a washout in the final. In both, they played in consecutive days, and both times Sri Lanka batted first, and rain came around once Sri Lanka's innings had ended. In 2004, it was a great partnership by the two tail enders for which won the match for the West Indies. Now, West Indies have an uncanny habit of winning new tournaments. If you look at this, they reached the final in '98. They won it in 2004. If you look at the ODI World Cup, they won it in '75 and '79, the first two editions. They reached the final, of course, in '83, being defeated by India. They also won a couple of back-to-back trophies in the T20 World Cup. And once they do that, they seem to sort of fade away. But anyway, coming back to the Champions Trophy, Australia had that great team under Ricky Ponting, which went on to win the 2006-7 tournament, as well as the 9-10 edition, which was in South Africa. Um, India, of course, had that famous win in 2013 under Dhoni. It was a very interesting win because India had just won the 2011 World Cup, but the team that won the Champions Trophy was a very, very new team with the Rohit Sharma Shikhar Dhawan combo coming to the fore, along with, of course, Virat Kohli, who had a very, very good tournament. And in 2017, and in 2013, of course, India defeated England in that final where they defended a very, very low score. It was an unlikely win, but it was a great win nevertheless. It capped off Dhoni's captaincy career as one of the all-time great ODI captains. In 2017, of course, it was the final that everybody likes to forget. Jasprit Bumrah bowling that no ball, which led Fakhar Zaman off the hook, and he ended up scoring a big ton. Which obviously led Pakistan to a big score, a tournament to forget for Indian fans. What cost India in the final was, of course, Kohli's decision to chase. That is something I was never a fan of. I told people at the time, my friends at the time, that this would cost India the match, and it did. Because India are never good chasing under pressure, and Pakistan are equally bad batting second. So all that India had to do was score big batting first, and it would have put immense pressure on Pakistan. Even if India had not got as big a score as Pakistan eventually did, even a 250, 280 would have been a winning score. India's famed batting lineup crumbled under pressure. Shikhar Dhawan, Rohit Sharma, and Virat Kohli all failed. So did Yuvraj Singh. Hardik Pandya offered some resistance, but it was a massive win. And it was heartbreak for Indian fans because India had done pretty well throughout the tournament, and they were firm favorites going into the final. I mean, that's always a worry for me with any Indian team. India usually does well when they are underdogs. Of course, there have been instances where they've gone on to win tournaments, just like the 2011 World Cup. But if you look at 1983, 2007, they were firm underdogs, and but ended up winning the tournament because they were under less pressure. Let's hope for the best this time around. Some good memories coming up now with India's 2013 Champions Trophy victory. Like I mentioned earlier, the best part about this tournament was that there was a lot of anger especially amongst the older players of the team who had contributed to the 2011 World Cup win. The likes of Virender Sehwag, Harbhajan Singh, Gautam Gambhir, etc., were upset at being left out. But Dhoni went with his conviction of backing a young Rohit Sharma and Shikhar Dhawan. The bowling attack was led by Ishant Sharma. Of course, you had Ravindra Jadeja and R. Ashwin. So a very, very young team which went on to win the Champions Trophy. That's for a very long time, this remained the last big tournament for India till they broke the hoodoo last year by winning the T20 World Cup. But this is a win that India will remember for a very, very long time. And like I said earlier, it capped off Dhoni's career as an international ODI skipper. Now, coming to the schedule of this tournament, it is going to be an interesting start for India with Bangladesh. India should actually win this pretty easily. Because Bangladesh have been off the boil for a very long time now. I don't expect them to put up much of a resistance unless India play very, very bad cricket. Of course, the big clash with Pakistan coming up. Now, it's very difficult to call this one. As much as Indian fans would like to think that India are firm favorites, I would like to disagree with that because Pakistan has been in very, very good form. They have won consecutive ODI series in Australia as well as in South Africa. So they are a very, very strong unit. I mean, they have the best bowling lineup in the entire tournament. And if their batting fires, especially the likes of Fakhar Zaman, Kamran Ghulam has been in good form. So if Pakistan can get going, I think it's going to be a very interesting match, especially for India without the possibility of just with Bumrah not being fit, at least for the group stages. Then you have New Zealand, who are India's bogey team in big tournaments. I'll discuss the squads a little in detail. Now, see, if you look at, let's start with New Zealand. I mean, they've started off well in Pakistan. They have a very, very balanced squad. They've always had good seamers, even though Tim Southee um, and Trent Bolt are not part of the lineup anymore. They have the reliable Matt Henry. They have a very, very good a senior batting lineup. So New Zealand will be a threat. They have good spinners in Mitchell Santner. They also have the part-time spin of Michael Bracewell and Glenn Phillips, who are actually much better than part-time. So this is a very, very good squad. If you look at Pakistan, like I said, they have been on a very good run. They've brought in some young talent. Kamran Ghulam has done well, not only in ODI cricket but also in Test cricket. Saud Shakil is very, very reliable. Of course, you have Babar Azam and Mohammad Rizwan, the stalwarts. Fakhar Zaman is their linchpin when it comes to ODI cricket. He can take the game away from the opposition in a jiffy, like he did versus India in 2017. And if you look at that bowling lineup, I mean, you will be spoiled for choices. Salman Ali Agha again is a part-time spinner who is very, very good with both bat and ball. So don't discount Pakistan this time around. If you look at Bangladesh, they have the usual suspects. Liton Das, of course, is missing. He's been one of their mainstays over the years. He's been badly out of form, and of course, Shakib Al Hassan has had some disciplinary issues, and he is also not part of the squad. I don't expect much from them, to be honest. As far as India are concerned, it is a very, very balanced squad. It is one of it's possibly the best squad that they could have picked. My only concern is KL Rahul. Now, I'll call this out. KL Rahul has always performed well below par, especially in matches that matter. He's never ever won a match where India has been under pressure. He's always failed in the big matches in the 2021 T20 World Cup, which happened in Dubai. Um, he uh, he failed miserably in both the matches. His strike rate was pathetic in the World Cup final, in the ODI World Cup final last year, which obviously India lost to Australia. So apart from that, I think it is a very, very balanced squad. My only concern again is Jasprit Bumrah not being fit. If he is unavailable, then India are in big, big trouble because I don't see anybody else carrying the attack in the manner that he does. India may still go on to do well in the tournament. They may reach the semi-final, but without Bumrah, I don't see them winning it. Rohit Sharma's form is critical as well. He's been in poor shape or in the last post the T20 World Cup. He struggled in ODI cricket. He struggled in Test cricket, and I don't know if he will be able to recover his form in ODI cricket. I mean, if he fails, this could be the last of Rohit Sharma. I don't see him continuing beyond this if he fails to win this tournament and if he fails to perform as a batsman. Shubman Gill, again, he struggled in Test cricket, but ODI cricket is his best format. Till now, he's been most consistent in this format compared to the other two. Virat Kohli as well. He's obviously retired from T20s. He's a batsman who's completely gone off the boil in Test cricket, but ODI cricket remains his best bet. For India's sake, I hope that he does well, especially if India end up chasing, which could be the case in Dubai. And Then you have Shreyas Iyer, who is very, very good in terms of rotating the strike and his strike rate, but it all remains to be seen whether he can fire on the big stage. The real strength of this squad is, of course, the all-rounders. You have Akshar Patel as well as Ravindra Jadeja, and it's highly likely that both will play in the same team along with Hardik Pandya. Hardik Pandya, the bowler, has been impressive of late, but the batsman has gone missing. He needs to fire big time if India are to win matches. Otherwise, there is the finishing touches would be lacking, especially with Rahul playing ahead of Pant. If I were a part of the management, I would definitely play Pant ahead of Rahul, even though he is much less experienced than Rahul in this format. The big concern for me is the seam bowling if Bumrah is not playing. Shami hasn't looked great since his return. Harshit Rana, if he replaces Bumrah, is highly inexperienced, and Arshdeep, I don't know why he hasn't played enough ODI cricket. I mean, of course, this is India's second tournament after the Sri Lanka series, but I haven't seen him play so far in the versus England. So Kuldeep Yadav, of course, should play, or if India decide to bring in Varun Chakravarti because of his form of late, Varun might replace Washington Sundar in the squad. So let's see. It's a balanced squad, but let's see how far they can go. This is Group B. Group B is interesting because of Afghanistan's resurgence as a team. They can upset anybody on that day. They now have the experience as well. You saw how well they played in the 2023 World Cup. They almost defeated Australia. If not for that freakish innings by Glenn Maxwell, they would have done the unthinkable. So I don't think Afghanistan can be taken lightly at all. But this is a very, very strong group, given that all four teams have a chance of qualifying for the semi-final, unlike the other group where Bangladesh have absolutely no chance. England are one of the firm favorites as far as I'm concerned. I see them being in the final. Unless they end up meeting India in the semi-final, then it could go either way. But I see England in the final of this tournament. Then you have Australia and South Africa. Australia is going to be a very, very weak squad this time, given that there is no Pat Cummins and there is no Josh Hazelwood. But you can never write Australia off. They have Adam Zampa, who is one of the most underrated spinners in the world, especially in India. People here tend to think that Indian spinners are the only ones who are worth the salt, but Adam Zampa is one of the best going around. He has an amazing record in ODI cricket, especially in tournaments. And being the sole spinner, he's taken on the burden of being the match winner on himself, and he's done it really well. If you look at England as well, you have Adil Rashid, who plays a role similar to that of Zampa. He's a wicket taker and also the chief spinner. And he's also been one of the most underrated bowlers. At least he's not recognized that much within India. And if you look at England's squad, I mean, they have a very, very balanced squad. They have 4 or 5 high quality batsmen. Joe Root, of course, is the anchor, but they have Harry Brook, they have Josh Butler, Jacob Bethel might play. They have Ben Duckett and Liam Livingston. So all of them can smash the ball around, and that's exactly what you need in conditions in Dubai, especially in conditions in Pakistan. India, of course, are the only team which will be playing in Dubai. If you look at South Africa, they are a bit undercooked. I don't see them making the semi-final. But having said that, they have the likes of David Miller and Heinrich Klaassen in the middle order, which gives them some hope. But having said that, I don't see the firepower in them to make it past the group stage. So my prediction for the 4 semi-finalists are India, Pakistan, England, and either Australia or Afghanistan. It all depends on the conditions, of course, especially in Dubai, where there is going to be a lot of dew. I'll talk about that in a bit. But I feel these are the 4 teams which are likely to make the semi-finals. And from then onwards, it's of course the team which handles pressure best, which goes on to win the tournament. Now, here's a look at some of the ODIs played in Dubai in the last few years. Now, the reason I'm talking about Dubai here is that while the tournament is going to be held in Pakistan, Indian fans would probably know that all their matches are going to be in Dubai because they've refused to travel to Pakistan. Dubai hasn't hosted a major ODI tournament or a major ODI fixture between, when I say major, they haven't hosted ODIs between the regular nations. They've only hosted ones between the associate nations. And if you look at some of these scores in the last few years, most of the matches have been won by the team batting second. Now that's going to be very, very interesting because then toss becomes an extremely crucial part of the tournament, especially for India. So Indian fans would be hoping that they win the toss and choose to bat and choose to chase to win these matches. Of course, you would remember what happened in the 2021 T20 World Cup. I'll show that in a bit. But if you look at these numbers, it's a big skew in favor of teams chasing. And the one thing that I see though is that in most of the matches where the team batting first has won by a big margin, which means that if at all you bat first, you put in a big score so that you have enough runs to defend with the dew coming on later in the evening. Now, UAE is a place where there is high humidity. While it is going to be pleasant in the month of Feb and early March when the tournament is going to be held, but if you look at some of the points that I have shown you here, the fact is that dew can make outdoor activities extremely uncomfortable, especially at night and especially in sports like cricket, where dewy outfield can affect the ball handling. And that's why it is very important that India just don't think about the spinners, the 3 seamers who are likely to play. are going to play a very, very important role. Unfortunately, India don't have the luxury of playing a fourth seamer because, of course, their combination is going to be such that they are going to rely on the three spinners, and you can't pick a team hoping that you would end up chasing. So India will go with their best 11, which will include three spinners, and holding the ball might be a real challenge. If that is the case, it is important that somebody like a Hardik Pandya, who is the third seamer, chips in and delivers the goods. And of course, the main two seamers have to be at their absolute best, and especially if Bumrah isn't playing. Now, this is what happened in the T20 World Cup in 2021 when chasing was almost equal to winning. If you look at the semi-finals and finals, the teams that batted second won quite comfortably. In fact, the match between Pakistan and Australia was by no means comfortable, but Matthew Wade and Marcus Stoinis destroyed Pakistan's hopes, just like they had done. Like Australia had done in 2010 in the semi-finals when Mike Hussey took on Saeed Ajmal. Now, these are India's matches. India, of course, had a horrible tournament. They were badly defeated in the first match, a match to forget, the only ICC tournament match in which Pakistan has defeated India. When I say ICC tournament, a World Cup tournament in which Pakistan has defeated India. Pakistan has a much better record in the Champions Trophy though versus India. They defeated India in a close match in 2004 when Afridi took them on. They again defeated India in South Africa in 2010, and of course there was the big win in the 2017 final, which we've discussed earlier. So and Pakistan have a great record in Dubai. But having said that, let's hope for the best, and let's hope that India lift the trophy on the 9th of March. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you so much.